A pathologist is on the stand today in the Alex Murdaugh trial after performing autopsies on the bodies of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. In previous testimony, she walked the jury through graphic images of Maggie and Paul's bodies, describing how they were killed. This as jurors saw new body cam footage of police arriving at the crime scene minutes after Alex Murdaugh called 911. ABC News contributor and host at Law and Crime Network, Brian Buckmeyer, joins me now for more on this. Hi, Brian. So what's the prosecution trying to lay out here with this testimony from the pathologist?
So from the pathologist, you get how these people died. It's partly an emotional response because the greater you can explain how devastating a victim's death was, the more you can get the jury on your side. But also, when you see how an individual died, it's often a two-dimensional picture. Here, the pathologist can tell us who was shot first, perhaps, what shot was done first, what was the kill shot, how they may have lasted in those final moments as they're being shot. Because don't forget, Maggie was shot 5 times with an AR-style rifle, and Paul was shot twice, once in the back of the head with a shotgun.
She has said that Maggie did not appear to have any defensive wounds, that Paul seemed to face his attacker. How crucial are those details?
So those details give us a clue as to what the victims may have known of their assailants at the time. If there are no defensive wounds, that might suggest that they knew their attacker and was not expecting that this person would have attacked them, or they may have been killed in a surprise. But you have 2 different bodies, 2 different types of weapons. That just adds to more confusion in the case, but the pathologist is trying to clear that up.
Brian, this new body cam footage shows police arriving at the crime scene right after Alex Murdaugh called 911. And within a minute, he tells police that the deaths are linked to threats against his son after this boat crash he was involved in. How much of an impact do you think this body cam video will have in this case?
So, Diane, I think it does a number of things. It's what you hear, like you said, with Alex Murdaugh. For the defense, that's them saying, hey, this is a distraught father who saw the love of his life and the apple of his eye, his youngest son, killed, and he's trying to piece it together for the police to figure out. Or it could be what the prosecution is saying, this is a very skilled man who knows the law and is trying to throw the police off their tracks. You also get a timeline as to when he spoke to the police. You also get what clothing he was wearing. And to compare and contrast, the defense is going to argue, no time to get rid of bloody clothes. He never did this. The prosecution has come up with a theory as to why he's wearing certain clothes in a Snapchat video, different clothes when he speaks to the police, and why they're so clean.
Now, the prosecution has said that they will likely rest tomorrow. So who are you watching for once the defense starts calling witnesses? And do you think Murdaugh himself will take the stand?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question. Who is the witness that the defense has, or maybe witnesses, that can pull apart the prosecution's very circumstantial case? If it happens to be Alex Murdaugh himself, that's going to be massive because there's a lot of questions that everyone, including the prosecution, is going to have of him. But if there are other witnesses who can explain where he was, why he reacts a certain way, why there might be gunshot residue here and not there, and his movements and his moods, and why this circumstantial evidence can't hold water, I would have been dying to know who that person is other than Alex. Right now, I think the case is pretty much stacked up against him, and I think there's going to be a serious conversation as to whether or not he takes the stand. And he's a trial attorney. I think he has a better chance than most defendants.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, always great to have your analysis. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.